Yep. Now we're time to be happy.
Now it's a better story. Good. And this is actually one that I might experience because Keystone Master is something I have, I want to do this patch.
Yep.
So, Tormented. It is our new seasonal affix. And in the picture there, you can see Oros Coldheart. I wonder if he uses frost abilities.
I would hope so.
It was one of the jailer's minions.
Yep.
Right.
This image is from Mohead, by the way. Thank you, Mohead, for your diligence.
So for our TLDR of this system then.
Yep. There are 4 lieutenants placed throughout each dungeon on Mythic Plus when the affix is active above 10. You get access to a selection of anima powers upon defeat of a lieutenant. Those are role specific and they're not RNG. I'm not sure if they're distributed per lieutenant or in direct order, but they are actually properly you'll get these when you go in.
Yep, good.
Yeah,
Definitely
they
good.
don't seem massively fun. I have a list of them here. They don't seem massively fun, but they seem potent enough to go and to be happy about going to get them.
Yeah.
In a sense. So the thing that makes this feel a lot like the Awakened affix from 8.3 is that for each lieutenant still alive when the final boss is pulled, an aura will be applied to the boss. So each of these 4 have their own debuffs essentially that they apply.
Yeah.
They are fire damage over time, 50% reduced movement speed, 50% increased physical damage taken, and 50% less healing received. Those are brutal. You can imagine if you have
depending on the fight, that's rough.
If you have one of these and it's a tough enough fight, you're probably going to die. So it's a kind of thing where almost like when you go into Torghast and you have those tower guardians that have the reduced haste, and you're like, I'm going to go sort those out first because these guys are pissing me off. So it's kind of like that thing where you're generally not supposed to fight the end boss with these, but also it's a big challenge if you want.
You sort of can if that's a part of your run and your strategy.
Yeah. So I did compare them to Awaken, but they're different in a little way that we'll get into in a very substantial way that we'll get into. But any thoughts yourself?
Well, I guess just going down the anima powers that you get, like magic damage taken reduced 15%, or while you're above 70% health, you get 8% more haste or crit.
Yep.
Versatility increased by 3%. Upon entering combat, your damage taken reduced by 40% for 3 seconds. 25% leech when your health is below. 25% increase all self-healing. 75%.
Hello, DKs and paladins.
It's like some of these are big, some of these are small. Kind of interesting. One, you eat food faster, much faster. So what does that mean? You click in your food and over 5 seconds, bam, you're full mana again.
Yeah.
So it's some of these are interesting powers, some of them are a bit not super fun.
Yep.
Generally, kiss curse stuff I think is the way to go. I would, in my head, scrap every affix in the game, only do a seasonal one, and invest more time and effort into making the seasonal one awesome.
Yep.
So I feel like this is not as great as it could be, but in the current system, it is pretty good. I just love to see if no other affix existed, what would they do for a real whole hog seasonal? I'd love to see that.
That'd be cool.
But this does seem, real sort of good design-wise for what it is. I mean, it's an affix. It makes it harder, but also you can play around it, and you can play around it to your own benefit. So I think that's better. It's more interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like the reason I say it's similar to the Awakening affix from 8.3. Awakened affix from 8.3 is because you could decide: do I make use of these guys, or do I fight a harder boss to save the time actually, fighting them? And that was kind of interesting in 8.3 when you just had to fight the extra enemy with the boss. It was a pretty big challenge, but as far as I recall, they weren't massive. And also, I can't remember, I think you could kill the boss and that would end it with the other ones alive if you really tunnel DPS. I can't remember for sure though. Which means that that was a fun decision to make, and they've clearly went for the same thing here, where you want to just go completely nuts, kill all the dudes, and then do the dungeon as normal.
Yeah.
Or you can just go and there's a couple of these you definitely wouldn't want to leave on. Like any fight where you need movement, you're going to want to kill Oros. Otherwise, you're probably going to die.
Or even if you just want fun.
Yeah, but if you've got a really good healer that's overgeared or something, you could just skip Arcalath.
I guess on Tyrannical Week, you will want to do all of these.
Yeah, on Tyrannical Week you'll need all of them.
Yeah.
But then on Fortified Week, because it's the end boss that they buff, on a Fortified Week, if you're happy to keep Lust and stuff for the end, you could just kind of maybe skip all of them if you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it perhaps will depend on the anima powers that you get.
Yeah.
Because, like, if, increasing all self-healing by 75%,
Yeah.
well, like, as a hunter, that will make my exhilaration pretty big. But there are so many specs where they do have regular self-heals. You buff that 75%, and damn, the amount of sustain that people will have will probably outscale some damage, some fire damage ticks.
Well, remember they are role specific. So I imagine that self-healing is probably for the tanks.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to DPS.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing a Blood DK will take and go, let's go.
Yes, I cannot be killed.
Yeah, it's like healer, respec, I've got this. Or, like I'm trying to think, what class, what tank doesn't have super amount of rehealing?
Roots of Shaladrisil is here. The legendary that like healed you when you stood still.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Oh, wow, nice. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, inflict 10% increased damage to targets you successfully interrupt for 5 seconds. That's neat.
Should be a default mechanic. Okay, maybe not, but people would fight over interrupts then. But I think like this is fun because it does add new objectives to the dungeon overall. And I think it's transformative enough. Might get boring over the course of like a full 6-month long season. It could, but in my head, I guess in my head, I would rather just have one big seasonal affix, get as much out of it as you can. And then sure, if you're bored of it at month 6, fair enough. There's a new one coming out. Yep. Ideally very soon after, right, for a new patch. So I like the direction that they've turned these seasonal affixes in. I will just have to actually properly get into Mythic Plus gameplay. Certainly will be interesting doing raiding and Mythic Plus at the same time, while also being a Final Fantasy XIV player and also playing Shogun 2 because I want to do a pirate campaign. In the regular thing, I want to do my current campaign that I'm doing as the Oda clan, right? I want to do a Tom Cruise campaign in Fall of the Samurai. There's too many games to play. I have to play Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I've got to play, get my nice morals from Spider-Man. Such a good game. Miles is so fucking likable as well. Oh, he's a great guy.
Great character. Furious at how good those games. Yeah. There's so many games to play, so it's going to be quite hard being pushing Mythic Plus keys and raiding at the same time. But goddamn, I'm going to give it a country try.
Good luck to you. Because remember, I actually had a very very upsetting moment earlier today when I thought, oh great, Ratchet and Clank's out this day next week, and then I remembered, wait, we stream on Fridays. I'm gonna have to stream. Ratchet and Clank will be sitting in my bag, ready for me to go home with, and I'll be here talking to you guys. And that's better, but still. Oh, man.
Oh, man. So.
In for some fun times, if we can make the time for it.
Yeah, so that's that. Good stuff coming there for the Mythic Dungeons. And really, this combo of having, like, cool seasonal affixes, Valor points existing, all that, it's just kind of going from strength to strength, in my view. So, happy just,
For sure.
Can the next expansion get rid of regular affixes permanently and double down on seasonal? So that's my final thought.